Hello everybody, you're about to see something you've probably never seen before. Details of the trail going down Blood Mountain. This chair is 17 inches high. And when you see Arnie step down from it, you'll understand why she has got to have stronger quads, hamstrings, and glutes in order to keep from destroying her knees on the downhills with big rock steps.
Only got about 16 pounds on now. Oh, why don't you make like a tree, but don't leave. In case I lose my balance. I can't do it slow. It ends up being a jam at the bottom, so that's only with 16 pounds. Got to get a lot stronger. Everybody have a blessed day.
We're setting out to come down off of Blood Mountain. It's a real steep descent, and then we're going to take a few days off.
Amen to that. All right. And there's the cabin where we slept. Climbed up on top here of the rocks. See all these rocks jutting out once the sun has risen. So we're looking out to the west. Hard to leave this. Not just spend a day or two up here basking in the beauty. Big stone floor, stone walls. There's the ceiling. My builder contractor husband could tell you things about it. That's where they sealed up the fireplace so people would stop using it. It just became too dangerous at some point. And then you got the second room, which is pretty much the same. So we actually put up the net part of our tent over here in this corner, and because there were a few spiders jumping around when we first got here, so we decided to just make sure we didn't have to deal with any of that. And then nice high steps here going out, and this is the rock we were on top of, and looking off to the west would be the way the camera's pointing for those photos we took this morning. And then this is what you see when you first come up. There's a way around that way to get up on top of the rock, and a way up this way. In the dark last night we came in from down this way. The climb really wasn't as bad as, it was long and high and hard, but it really wasn't ever as bad as we expected, except the last little section had a lot of these smooth stones that were a bit slippery, and the leaves on them and acorns and things, and I did end up crawling quite a bit just to be safe. I'm not proud. And then there was another little opening over here where some folks were able to watch the sunrise from more of an easterly view. And last night, apparently, we've been told, we probably saw in the southeasterly view over there, we did see just millions and millions of lights, and it may have been Atlanta. And then there's a town down there too, looks like. So we are heading out now. And I do want to say, G really wanted to do this, and even I had my doubts whether he would be able to. But, I'm pretty sore, my knees, my back, very tired. But it is nothing compared to how hard he has to work to do this sort of thing. His determination carried him through till we got here, so it's pretty awesome. He wants to keep going, and I'm loving it, so we're going to take a few days with family and a couple of friends that I grew up with. Used to climb trees with as a kid, and So hopefully we're going to get to spend a little time with them. Haven't seen them in over 40 years. So that's going to be fun. And we're off to the north. And if we get to this little overlook up here, I'll turn it back on for a minute. Here is G waiting for me. It's fun when you find these large rock outcroppings. So I guess this is where some folks watched that sunrise from, where they could see it a little better. The sun was probably directly in that direction. And we are headed off to the southeast, northeast, probably all of the above, till we get to Neel's Gap. And there is back to the west one more time. First open view on the way down. Off to the west. So we've come down about 100 feet so far, from 4442 to 4350, and so far we're having pretty much stone, some high step downs that make it a little bit difficult. Not too tough yet, but I'm hoping that the sun will get behind some tree cover here soon, because the sun is said the high is 73 today, but feels more like 85 right now. And there's another little area where people can go and enjoy the view to the east. Downhill, looks like we're starting to have some bigger steps now. Even though they're harder physically, I like them better because you just always feel like those sloping stones, if there's a few leaves on it or an acorn, that you could slip and fall. Well, this may be one of those sit down on your bottom and inch your way down. Sorry, nobody here to video. Well, I managed to remain standing, so that's progress.
How's it going there, Grandma Bear?
Slow but sure. I think I sighed for the camera. So we got to this little rock climb, and I decided I'm sitting down and gonna eat a sandwich while I consider my options getting up this steep little place. Again, 30 pounds on your back, 65 years old, been in recliners for the last 3 years for fun. Decided to start hiking at Amicalola Falls Approach Trail. We are now going down to Neel's Gap. We are loving every minute, even though it's extremely hard and we don't love every second, but it's just been great. But goodness gracious, some of it, which we knew that. I've watched enough videos and done enough research, but you know, watching and doing are two different things, and I wasn't counting on the short-legged problem. And that's been the biggest challenge for me. Sometimes your legs just aren't strong enough to lift you up 18 inches when you're only 5'6" and tend to have short legs anyway. We'll get up there somehow soon. Not a bad view for lunch. Came from down there. Well, so I had my lovely little lunch and figured out how to get up over that little bitty rock climb. For me, it was a bit of a rock climb. I had to put down the poles. But then I was at the top of this. And yes, it was a rock climb down for me. It was a lot of fun, but very time consuming. It was hard. You have to be extremely cautious and figure out every step. Had to sit down a few times. And it was great, but I wasn't expecting them so much in Georgia. And I'm headed down this way, and G is up there somewhere. We agreed he was going to go on because there's lots of people on the trail right now, and plenty of people to help if either one of us got in any kind of trouble. So I will catch him eventually. We are at elevation about 3478, which means we have come down close to 1,000 feet. And this is a welcome little switch here for a minute. I would be lying if I didn't say that I am extremely tired. I was tired when we started this morning from that climb up, and this climb down, and muscles, legs and upper body is just really grueling, but gonna make me stronger for what lies ahead. So no complaints, just a fact of life. Let's see. This is the most worn. I'd say straight ahead is where we're going. And I see a red hat up above. There's no telling how long G's been there waiting because I am so slow on these downhills. So we'll just enjoy this bit of flat trail here for a minute. Looks like we're about to come into where the Freeman Trail is. The Freeman Trail goes around further down Blood Mountain for foul weather, or if a person just, feels they can't make it on over Blood Mountain. I take it back, that's the Byron Reese Trail. That heads over to the parking lot. Hello, Mr. G. Yeah, well, it's been very slow. So I think that was about the most difficult 1,000 feet descent that I've ever made. You agree?
Without question.
Seemed even harder than going up, didn't it? Of course, we're very tired from going up, but anyway, we've about done it though. Well, I have to say that this bit of trail has been a blessing. A break from that grueling downhill. I heard a thru hiker once make the comment, I guess it was TNT on the trail. He said, Blood Mountain, that Blood Mountain is no joke. I would have to agree with that. Up was tough, down is grueling. It's my favorite gnarly little trees again. Been so busy looking at the ground and where I'm going to put my foot next step that I haven't had a chance to really look from side to side lately. Yep, there they are. Striped bark, small leaves. Three or 4 tenths away from Neel's Gap, and I think we have one more steep downhill, 200 feet down or so, and then we will be there. Two feet. That's how far it is. From here down to there. So, as weak as my legs are, I cannot step that. And with that pointy little rock there, I don't want to sit on that. So I'm going to have to think this through. And if there was a tree here, it would help, but not when it's that big and I can't put my arms around it.
Well, that wasn't any fun at all.
No, that was not fun. Thank God for angels
Yeah.
coming along to hold us up.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Hear the cars? Neel Gap and the Walisi. Well, shall we? Notice the boots. Mostly you will hear the story that those are people who got here from Springer, called it quits, and that's their shoes. We're happy to have hiked 40, counting the approach trail, 1 mile at a time. We left Neel Gap and stayed at Vogel State Park last night, and we had spoken to a Forest Service person and found out there was a wildfire at Brasstown Bald. There's one in the Cohutta Wilderness, and that there was somewhere near the North Carolina. We left Vogel State Park this morning, and we are on 64 East from Blairsville to Franklin, and just came across this. So I don't know if this is one of the three that he was discussing, or if this is an entirely different one. This is the problem with it being so dry, and all it takes is one person, deciding they want to have a campfire, or even not being careful with their cooking stove. So I don't know the story on this one. Haven't seen any vehicles out here working on it, but it's very sad when you see forest on fire anywhere. So hopefully they will get this one under control. And smoke is headed east, so there it is. That's further east on 64 East. That is the sun in the midst of the smoke on 64 West.